Om Rim Namo Arhantanam. Om Rim Namo Siddhanam. Om Rim Namo Ayyanam. Om Rim Namo Uvajjayanam. Om Rim Namo Loye Sarvasavunam. Om Rim Namo Arhantanam. Om Rim Namo Siddhanam. Om Rim Namo Ayyanam. Om Rim Namo Uvajjayanam. Om Rim Namo Loye Sarvasavunam. Om Rim Namo Arhantanam. Om Rim Namo Siddhanam. Om Rim Namo Ayyanam. Om Rim Namo Uvajjayanam. Om Rim Namo Loye Sarvasavunam. Eso Panchalamukaro Sarvapavakanasano Mangalanam Jasavresim Paramam Havai Mangalam. Paramam Havai Mangalam.
That saw booming population growth and the rise of radical sweatshop working conditions and demand women's suffrage. Beginning in 1910, March 8th became annually observed as an International Women's Day. Since 1908 till now and even beyond, the world has witnessed a significant change in both women's and society's thoughts about women's equality and emancipation. Let us all learn and do our bit to ensure that the future of our girls is bright, equal, safe and rewarding. With having said that, we are also here to give tribute to our very empowering woman, Sadhvi Pramukha Kanaprabhaji. Her illuminating journey began at the very early age of 19 years when she detached herself from the worldly life. She had been declared the 8th Sadhvi Pramukha, which is head of nuns, in 1972 and Mahashramani in 1979 of Jain Shwetambar Terapanth Dharma. Many Jain Agams were converted by her from Prakrit into Hindi language. More than 100 books written by Acharya Tulsiji were edited by Sadhvi Pramukha Kanaprabhaji. She has been hailed as a daughter of Goddess Saraswati for her profound knowledge in Jainism. We will definitely learn more about her and journeys of many other individuals empowering women in our society today. Moving forward, I would like to request Punita Gandhi, who is a very active member of JVB and my very dear friend, to come up here and say Mangalachal. She has a beautiful voice, and let us hear her. जय हिंद। हो संकल्प सत्य शिव सुंदर, ऊंची एक उड़ान भरे, बनकर हम सूरज की किरणें, युग धारा में प्राण भरे। हो संकल्प सत्य शिव सुंदर, ऊंची एक उड़ान भरे, बनकर हम सूरज की किरणें, युग धारा में प्राण भरे। आओ बहनों, जागो बहनों, हो लिखे क्रांति की नई चाल, खुद उनको बढ़ते जाए। शक्ति भक्ति की ज्योत जला, इतिहास नया गढ़ते जाए। मजबूत इरादों वादों से हम जागृति का आह्वान करें। मजबूत इरादों वादों से हम जागृति का आह्वान करें। बनकर हम सूरज की किरणें, युग धारा में प्राण भरे। आओ बहनों, जागो बहनों, हो शुभ भविष्य भावी पीढ़ी का नारी की जिम्मेदारी। रहे शुद्धता खान पान की, हो पक्की पहरेदारी। नशा मुक्ति है मंत्र शक्ति का, घर घर यह संगान करे। नशा मुक्ति है मंत्र शक्ति का, घर घर यह संगान करे। बनकर हम सूरज की किरणें, युग धारा में प्राण भरे। आओ बहनों, जागो बहनों, हो श्रद्धा सेवा और समर्पण, नारी का अपना सपना। समता ममता सहनशीलता, तब यह जीवन भर तपना। संयम और सादगी द्वारा अपनी हम पहचान करें। संयम और सादगी द्वारा अपनी हम पहचान करें। बनकर हम सूरज की किरणें, युग धारा में प्राण भरे। आओ बहनों, जागो बहनों, हो पदेश लिप्सा से दूर रहे, कर्तव्य बोध बढ़ता जाए। ग्राफ हमारा गुणवत्ता का ऊपर नित चढ़ता जाए। काम करे निष्काम भाव से, गणपति हित बलिदान करे। काम करे निष्काम भाव से, गणपति हित बलिदान करे। बनकर हम सूरज की किरणें, युग धारा में प्राण भरे। आओ बहनों, जागो बहनों, हो हुआ जागरण भाग्योदय से, तुलसी प्रभुवर की आभारी। अलख जगाती रहे रात दिन, जुड़े संग से एक तारी। ऊर्जा पाकर महाश्रवण से, चरणों को गतिमान करे। ऊर्जा पाकर महाश्रवण से, चरणों को गतिमान करे। बनकर हम सूरज की किरणें, युग धारा में प्राण भरे। आओ बहनों, जागो बहनों, हो संकल्प सत्य शिव सुंदर, ऊंची एक उड़ान भरे। बनकर हम सूरज की किरणें, युग धारा में प्राण भरे। आओ बहनों, जागो We all have a few words. Jai Jinendra, on behalf of JVB Center as well as JVB committee members, I would like to welcome all of you who have come far or nearby. I see a lot of sects, different, like we see, let's see, I have some names that just got into it, that they made the time to come out of their hectic schedules. And let's see, I would like to welcome Leila Chaco, if you could, please stand please. Amrita Ghosh, I don't know if she's here yet. Okay. Lily Storm, Ms. Jaspreet Mehta, Mrs. Krishna Agrawal, and some of the members from labs. Please, I don't know how many, I know only one person. Please stand up. From labs. Okay, please. Yeah, that's the Swaminarayan labs. And we know them for several years as well. And the Sikh Society, I don't know who is from that sect. Anybody? No? But I really am thankful that different sects, we are all together celebrating Women's Day under one roof here today at JVB Center. As you know now that my name is Harsha Nagda, I live in Ocala. We've been there for almost 42 years now. And it's good to see you all as well as our JVB members here and some of our gentlemen here from the center. Women's Day celebration annually on March 8th, but I heard that now they celebrate the whole month of March, which is waking up a lot of things that goes around and all that we need to kind of open up other people's minds and see that women are as good as men. The secondly, we will talk about Sadhvi Pramukhaji Kanakprabhaji, who was born in Calcutta, Bengal on July 22nd. She lived about 80 years, and at the age of 19, she had done the she became a nun, so almost 60 years of her service. We have in that sanstha, which is JVB sanstha in Lanu, there are about 550 Jain nuns, that means Sadhviji, and about 50 plus Samiji. Samijis are who can travel. They are halfway Diksha done, but not fully Diksha. Three things they kind of take a vow that they can still travel through the public transportation. They wear shoes, and instead of they go to do the bochari from door to door, we here, since it's not possible, so we provide the bochari and we come and give it to them. So that's there. To manage all those 600 plus Sadhviji and Samiji, Pramukhaji has done wonderful job. Not only that, but several other things. They are from Rajasthan, and in that Rajasthan area, a lot of illiterate people, especially women, are not given all the opportunity. If you are widow, the girls are not allowed to go to school and all, and she had done a lot of those activities to wake up the ladies to get the opportunity for those unprivileged people to get them.
Here at the JVB Center, we do a lot of activities as well. This COVID has done few things good also. Otherwise, we were doing it only Swadhyayas every other week or twice a month and Children's Bible Summit. But now we do the Swadhyaya. I mean, it's online, Monday through Sunday. It is very well organized. What Samijis are really working hard on. Every Monday morning, every day, 7 days a week, morning is Bhaktamar, which is like a Hanuman Chalisa, and in the other caste or whatever other prayers the other religion does, with the yoga and meditation. And then Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, we have the evening classes on different topics. If anybody is interested in, please contact one of member and get our email address to us, your email as well as your phone number, so we can add you to listen to at your home base also, certain days that is available online. Once again, I'm delighted to see all of you to celebrate the auspicious day of Women's Day with us, as well as Pramukhaji's unveiling the book, Half the Word. That means half naris or female and male when you count that way. So rest of the program, I want you to relax and enjoy and hear from the other speakers what they have to say about their work for the community, as well as we see that how women are coming up, and we are in all the sectors. If you look it up, women are there hand to hand or shoulder to shoulder we call, and I don't see anything, but sometimes I feel that we women do much better job than even the men. Thank you.
Thank you, Arsha, wonderful speech. So, she is the Director of Public Affairs for the India Center at the University of Central Florida. She is a highly experienced public servant and an attorney, having worked in various roles promoting human rights and advocating for the rights of women and children in both the United States and New Zealand, my favorite place. At UCF, she oversees programming for the India Center, working to deepen the ties with the Indian American community and promote awareness and understanding of the contemporary India through events and collaboration both locally and internationally. She's also an adjunct professor at UCF's Rosen College of Hospitality Management, where she teaches hospitality law. And let us give us a warm welcome to Leila Chaco, please. Leila ji, we would love to hear a little bit from you about your journey empowering all of us. Please.
Thank you very much for having me here today. It's my honor. I'll just speak to you briefly about my experience as a woman and as a professional. I grew up in Orlando, but my journey took me elsewhere. I studied in New York and then Washington, D.C., and in between that, I was in Japan for a couple of years. In Washington, I went to law school and got my law degree, and then I went to New Zealand. And as many of you know, having come from other places, sometimes your professional degrees don't translate when you travel to other countries. So I went to New Zealand with my law degree. I was applying for jobs, going for interviews, and time again I was told by people who were interviewing me, they would look at my degree. In the US it's a JD degree. In New Zealand, similar to India, it's an LLM or LLB. People will look at my JD and say, is this a real degree? They would look down on it thinking that I wasn't actually an attorney. And it was very discouraging. After studying 4 years undergrad, 3 years for my master's degree, and feeling like, can I get a job in New Zealand? Yet I persisted, I kept going to interviews, I kept meeting people in the community. And I was embraced by the immigrant community in New Zealand. And it wasn't something that I was expecting, but I ended up working in a nonprofit organization advocating for the rights of immigrant women and children. And I loved that job. I worked with immigrant families every day. But in that role, I also had to work with the police, work with immigration, work with lawyers, and I also went to a lot of community events. And sometimes in these community events, I was met with people who didn't think that I should be working, advocating for women and children. So again, I had this challenge where people would put me down and say, we don't want you doing this. But I felt it was my duty. Many of these women didn't speak English. Many of them were alone in New Zealand. They didn't have family support yet. I could speak English. I had family support. So again, I persisted and I continued to do my job. And I felt I was successful. I moved up in the organization. And I felt fulfilled when these women and children, they would get jobs, they would get their permanent residency in New Zealand, and have other successes through my advocacy. And then I was ultimately fulfilled when I was asked to represent New Zealand with a group of other nonprofit organizations. We represented New Zealand at the United Nations in New York on the Commission on the Status of Women. So I was able to speak about immigrant women's rights in New Zealand at the United Nations. So that was an amazing journey for me, despite facing many challenges, to be able to speak at the United Nations in New York. And continuing my journey, I eventually made it back to Orlando, where I grew up, and practicing law. And now I currently work at the India Center at UCF, and you're all welcome to come visit me there, where we put on events and programming related to contemporary India. But I truly believe in the work of advocating for women and being in the community and meeting women like many of you here who support women's rights. So I just want to thank you all for having me here today and giving me this opportunity to tell you about my journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You really have a very inspiring life. We're looking forward so we can live something like that in various countries and still supporting the community and doing the great work for the women's rights. Thank you very much. Having said that, Shamiji, I feel like we do have very bright women around here with a lot of interesting journeys, and in spite of being a woman itself is sometimes a challenge, and they do overcome all of that as a woman, wife, mother, and what roles they play. How do we do that in daily life? How do we discipline ourselves, or how do we empower ourselves every day, not once in a year or once in an occasion comes? Just like Leila just said, and we have many more people to speak for their journey, about their journey. I would really like to get some piece of advice for all of us of how we women can do a little bit of things, small things here and there to empower ourselves. Even if we don't go to New Zealand and Japan, right? So, आप कुछ बताइए।
हिमा जी, आपने बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन किया है कि हम डेली लाइफ में कैसे पीसफुल जी सकते हैं, क्योंकि हमारे रूप अनेक बदलते रहते हैं। कभी हम एक माँ के रूप में होते हैं, तो कभी पत्नी के रूप में, तो कभी बेटी के रूप में, तो कभी पुत्रवधू के रूप में होते हैं, कभी फ्रेंड्स के रूप में होते हैं। तो इन बदलते रूपों में पीसफुल कैसे रहा जा सकता है, इसका सॉल्यूशन हमारे खुद के पास है। क्योंकि हमारा जो, अगर अकॉर्डिंग टू साइंस देखें तो हमारा राइट ब्रेन एक्टिव है, विमेंस का राइट ब्रेन एक्टिव है, और एक्टिव होने के कारण ही उसके अंदर ममता है, समता है और कुछ करने की उसमें क्षमता है। 3 वर्ड्स उसके अंदर एक अफेक्शन है सबके लिए और उसके भीतर एक टॉलरेशन पावर, टॉलरेट कैसे किया जाए हर परिस्थिति को, वो पावर है उसके अंदर। और शी कैन डू एवरीथिंग इफ शी वांट, अगर वो चाहे तो कुछ भी कर सकती है अपनी लाइफ में। तो ये 3 चीजें उसके अंदर हैं और वो इसका कारण है राइट ब्रेन। इन दिन इस सेंचुरी में ऐसा लग रहा है कि राइट ब्रेन की जगह अभी लेडीज लेफ्ट ब्रेन को ज्यादा यूज कर रही है, इसलिए और सारे फील्ड्स में आगे बढ़ती जा रही है, लेकिन एक फील्ड उसका थोड़ा सा छूटता जा रहा है। तो इसलिए जरूरी है अगर वो पीसफुल जीना चाहे तो दोनों में बैलेंस करें, उसे पीछे नहीं रहना है, आगे बढ़ना है और उसे अपने आप को साबित करना है। तो बैलेंस करना होगा और बैलेंस करने के लिए एक छोटा सा मेडिटेशन करवाते हैं और वो है ब्रीदिंग प्रोसेस, ऑल्टरनेट ब्रीदिंग बट इक्वल लेवल। हमें इनहेल एंड एक्सेल इक्वल लेवल पर करना होता है, जिससे न हमें बहुत ज़्यादा तेज श्वास को लेना है न तेज श्वास को छोड़ना है, लेकिन उन दोनों को बैलेंस करके हमें करना है। तो जिससे हमारा लेफ्ट एंड राइट दोनों हेमिस्फीयर जो हैं उनमें बैलेंस होगा, हमारी पर्सनैलिटी बैलेंस्ड होगी और आप फिर कोई सा भी कार्य करें, कैसी भी परिस्थिति में रहें, आप अपने आप को बना करके रखें। और इसका उदाहरण अभी आज हम आपके सामने लेके आएंगे साधु का स्थिति, जिनके सामने परिस्थितियां कैसी थी और वो कैसे बन गई, वो आपके सामने आने वाली है। ओके।
वंदना जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच। आपने जो ममता, समता और क्षमता के बारे में बताया, आई होप वी टेक दिस विद इन अस एंड ट्राई टू मूव फॉरवर्ड इन अ पॉजिटिव वे। Samri ji is a very good teacher in meditation. If anybody would like to join, she teaches on certain days of the week, and those who are not here coming regularly also more than welcome to come and learn about meditation or go online and even learn from there. She beautifully explains how this works and how the magic works in our lives. So thank you, Samri ji. Moving on, there is one more very empowering woman, Dr. Amrita Ghosh. Unfortunately, I just came to know today that she has injured her foot, so she won't be able to travel to JVB. But I would definitely like to recognize her services and contribution in the women's welfare. Dr. Amrita Ghosh is an assistant professor of South Asian literatures at the University of Central Florida. Dr. Ghosh is widely published, academic teacher, writer, and editor. Her recent research has focused on emerging literature, films, and visual text on and from Kashmir, which she explores in her upcoming monograph, Kashmir's Necropolis. Dr. Ghosh is also a co-editor of an anthology titled Tagore and Yeats. In addition to her academic work, Dr. Ghosh has a podcast on writers and new books from the global south that are often overlooked by mainstream media. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Ghosh for her life success. And unfortunately, she's not here with us today, but we must do Omar Ham for her services. Thank you very much. We have a little girl, Anika Jain, daughter of Tina Jain. And in my Gnanshala student, she's also a Gnanshala student, and she would love to recite a poem. So I would love to welcome Anika. She's over there.
Whether the sun rises or not on the golden east, your sun of wisdom is always rising up. Cooling we get or not from the light of the moon, we get your cooling caring forever. Wrapping with stars, whether the night decorates itself or not, the world of spirituality decorates forever. Autumn comes or not in the cycle of the season, abundance of your earth, the sense and grace always we get in the life. Whether rain of spring fall or not from the watery clouds, the drizzling of kindness from your eyes we get from forever. Whether peacock dance or not in the sympathy of nature, the peacock of your mind always dance on the sympathy of equanimity. Fragrance of flowers spread or not in the rose garden, the fragrance of your restraint always spread all over the world. Lotus blossom or not on the river, your smiles imprint in our minds forever.
Thank you, Anika. It was a beautiful poem with a lot of good deep meaning to it. Now here comes a little bit of entertainment, okay? You all, I don't know how many of you know or have watched Hum Panch serial, a Hindi TV serial. We all grew up in our school and college times watching a Hum Panch serial which was aired on TV, I don't know which channel. During 1995 was Doordarshan, right? Okay. It was a crazy mixed family, fun family of five daughters taking over the whole house upside down. And it was a very happy, jovial family of parents and 5 daughters. So what we are here trying, and I also heard, I don't know if I should say it, but Shammi ji was a big fan of that Hum Panch serial. I came to know from with my some insights. In her childhood, she would come home from school and would not do anything, not listen to mommy, and just watch Hum Panch. Right? Did I say a little more? Yeah, so she is very creative personality herself. And from that Hum Panch concept, she's come up with some idea for all of us to learn. I have, this is Hum Panch, but there are Hum 6. It's the latest edition. So the 6th one is pretty much going to be in the background. But we have Punita Gandhi, Monica Nandu, Shweta Sangaria, Tina Jain, Ami, and Sachi Shah. They will be performing on Hum Panch in front of all of us. So please welcome them and let us enjoy this.
on that occasion, the Russian leader, Mikhail Gorbachev, made an important statement. There are three gems in the world: bread, books, and women. Bread nourishes the body. Books feed the brain, and women are the central element of the family, society, and the world. They nurture body, mind, and consciousness. The role of woman is very important in new creation of a heavenly, healthy family, society, nation, and the world. And Acharya Tulsi, he also knew this thing. He was the renowned religious leader of the 20th century, the center of faith of millions of people, and you can see he was a synonymous of the speed, light, and energy. One of the great creation was some Mahanideshika, Sadhvi Pramukha Kanak Prabha. Sadhvi Pramukha Kanak Prabha. She was the eighth Sadhvi Pramukha. Sadhvi means nuns and Pramukha means head. So she was the eighth head of the Theravada sages, nun. And she has made a proud record by leading the Sadhvi Society of Theravada sect for 5 decades under the guidance of acharyas. She was an active and attentive Sadhvi, raised with the trinity of spiritual devotion, Guru devotion and Sangh devotion. Sadhvi Pramukha Kanak Prabha. She was born on 22nd July 1941 in metro city of Calcutta. Her father's name was Sri Suraj Balbai and mother's name was Choti Bai. As a young girl, Kala was sharp, wise, and introvert from the beginning. She took admission in Paramahantik Shikshan Sanstha. It's a training institution for the girls who want to take Diksha, who want to become a Jain nun. So she took admission in Paramahantik Shikshan Sanstha, Ladu in 1956, when she was about 15 years old. In her 4 years in Paramahantik Shikshan Sanstha, she made a mark in the institute with her humility and intelligence. And on the obvious day of Guru Purnima, at the age of 19 years, she was initiated in Khelba, the city of origin of Theravada, by 9th Acharya, Gurudev Tulsi. In the pious presence of Guru, Sadhvi Kanak Prabha did intensive studies of grammar, Tark Shastra, Agams, Jain scriptures, etc. and gained tremendous proficiency in the 7-year course designed for some. And she completed that course within 4 years. She excelled in studying, teaching, and writing as well. She learned thousands of verses and was among the top sadhvis. On the 12th January 1972, Acharya Tulsi appointed her as the head of Sadhvi sect in Gangasham. At that time, her age was only 30 years. Since then, as the 8th Sadhvi Pramukha of Theravada. Under the holy guidance of three Gurus, Gurudev Tulsi, Gurudev Mahaprabhuji and Mahashamanji, she had been leading the youth Sadhvi community with grace and dignity. Her multifaceted personality, leadership, and character can be expressed in various forms. Sadhvi Prabha was an influential orator, effective spokesperson, you can say. Every sentence of her spiritual discourse is an inspiration. The smooth flow of words, interesting examples, brevity and novelty are the key features of her oratory. It is often felt that a person who listens to her discourses once comes under her sphere of influence for her, whether it is a spiritual event or a public event, a meeting or a daily discourse. The serious oratory style moves the audience conscious down to path of change. She was an enlightened writer. Savimukha Kaneprabhaji was recognized as a mature writer on the literary horizon. Simple language, effective writing style, tight sentences, and ability to craft words that combine facts within two statements are the unique features of her literary creativity. This wonderful blend of emotion, language, and style keeps the reader hooked from beginning till the end. Her writings have flowed uninterrupted across genres, novel, travelogue, biography, etc., like prose, poetry, history. And her literary genius has not only influenced the general readers but also famous literators, writers, and thinkers of the country. She wrote 51 books. You can see here, so 51 books she wrote. It's in Hindi or Rajasthani and Sanskrit language. And she was a natural born poet. She wrote 2 books of poem and 1 book of song. And her poems have the quality of sensitivity, beauty, real story, vibes, and devotion. So, Dhut Chhav and Sasu Ka Ikara, these are the 2 famous books of poem. And she compiled more than 200 poems. She has also composed songs on women empowerment and building moral values. The song which you heard in starting in the Mangalachar, that song was also compiled by her. And Tulsi Prabodh, Vikas Ki Varnamala. These 2 melodies composition that are like feeding an ocean into a pitcher. This is the Vikas Ki Varnamala. This book is a very, we can say it's for all age, not for adult but it's also for kids. Like kids starting their learning language, right? A, E, Hindi or Gujarati language. So it's in Hindi, it's with Varnamala. Like the first one is अनुशासन है बड़ा जीवन का आधार दूर भगाता अहम को पक्का पहरेगा. It means अनुशासन means to follow and live in discipline of elders and gurus. Anushashan is an important basis of development. Where there is discipline, ego cannot get lost. Just as a gatekeeper keeps away strangers from one's house, discipline keeps ego at the bay in one's life. So it's like small lessons for all of us. She was a natural born poet. And she was a talented editor. She's not a writer, not only a poet, but also a very talented editor. Acharya Tulsi has written and composed more than 100 books on Jain Tattva Vidya, philosophy, yoga, poetry, biographies, spiritual and didactic songs. Most of these books and scriptures have been edited by Sadhvi Pramukha, Kanak Prabhaji. And on the occasion of the celebration of birth centenary of Acharya Shri Tulsi, she created history by presenting Gurudev Tulsi's work in a new form. So she presented his books, 180 books, in a new form and edited. And she also, like Gurudev Tulsi, had written his diary. And that diary, she, in the reference of the diary, she wrote the autobiography of Acharya Tulsi, and it has more than 25 volumes. So it's a history that, in history, is there any person's biographies which has 25 or more volumes? We have to search that. And the name of biography is Mera Jivan, Mera Darshan. And she was also part of editing the Jain scriptures. Jain scriptures which are in the Prakrit language, Ardhamati Prakrit. So that language we can say, so like today we don't know that language. But to edit that, it's a very big task, and she was also the part of that. And the time-consuming editing of that time was Bhagavati Sutra. She did that. It is the biggest scripture of Jain Bhagavad. And in that scripture there are 36 questions which were asked to Lord Mahavira and answered by Mahavira. So she edited that Bhagavati Sutra. It shows that her focus and dedication. And she was an able personality builder. She was she was inspiration for us. Her spiritual personality inspired and gave direction to many people, and she fulfilled her duty by nourishing the talent of sadhvis and samis. We are samijis, so she did a lot for us, and not only sadhvis and samis, like she also developed us according to the we can live in present era, modern era. So she developed them for the modern era, protecting and enhancing their moral values. And at present, more than 600 sadhvis and samis are there. And not only sadhvi and samis, but also she always gave the guidance to the women of Theravada sect. It's the organization called Mahila Mandal. And in this Mahila Mandal, more than 60,000 women are registered. And more than 2 to 3 lakhs women, they are not registered, but they are also part of that group. And she always gave her guidance to this group. Before 50 years, there was an era when in India people were very conservative. At that time, she motivated the group, women, to come ahead and leave all that, in Hindi we can say rudhya. So, the orthodox traditions to keep gungat and don't go out, don't work. You can do only household work. and that ornaments. That time, that was an era in Rajasthan. There was like a tradition. Generally, women used to wear 2 to 3, minimum 2 to 3 kg of gold ornaments. And that time, she tried and she motivated to all the women to come out from all these things. So she did a lot. It's a like very small summary of that. And whatever she did, and the return, the son, the guru also gave the recognition. Acharya Tulsi gave her honorable post of Mahashramani on September 1989 and Sangh Mahanideshika on November 8, 1991. So it's like, in generally, it's a tradition that Acharya or like men will dominate. But that time, Acharya Tulsi and Yuvacharya Mahapragya were there. But he gave the right to her that you go and do survey of the sun. Not only for Sadhvi group, not only for group of Sadhvis, but also the group of monks. And she went to do survey of that Seva Kendra, where old and sick Sadhu and Sadhvis are there. So what they need, how they are doing. And Acharya Mahashramanji, he also gave her, bestowed her with the title of Asadharan Sadhvi Pramukha. And on the 1st of August 2016. And then the second was Ahimsa Yatra Ki Mahan Vibhuti, because Acharya Mahapragya did Ahimsa Yatra, and then again Acharya Mahashraman also did Ahimsa Yatra, the journey of non-violence, and she was with him. So he gave him a great personality who adorned the journey of non-violence. But he didn't stop here. When she completed the 50 years of her leadership, that time, the entire Theravada Dharma Sangh celebrated the golden jubilee of her leadership, Amrit Mahotsav, in the presence of Acharya Mahapragya on January 13, 2022 at Lalmo, Jain Vishwabharati. And that time, between that grand celebration, it became more great when Acharya Mahashraman gave her one more, I can say it's honor or like a title. It's Shashan Mata, mother of this Shasan, like son. So it was a very big, and Guru used to welcome her on like when she used to come. Acharya Mahashramanji also used to do Vandana. So it's a very rare case in Jainism that sadhu are doing Vandana to sadhvis. And he's a more like at the top post, like he was a guru, acharya, and he was also doing Vandana to her. So in her life, she did a lot for this Dharma Sangh, not only for women, but also for all the Sangh. And she always used to give this style, she always used to give her blessings, but unfortunately, the wheel of time turned and she became a victim of disease which can't cure, uncurable disease, and her battle of life was ended on 17th February 2022 and Delhi Adhyatma Sadhana Center. Though physically says absence, but the fragrance of her everything I can say, like, so if I say any word is so small, so I can't say any word, but she's still here with us. And today we are giving our Shraddhanjali to her. And this is the Samadhi in Delhi. Samadhi of her in Delhi, Adhyatma Sadhana. So she was the personality who always motivated us. No matter what the situation, where she is, what she is doing, but she was always available for us. And we feel like still she is available for us in a different way, not because this body, but in a different way. Thank you.
मैं तो हमेशा यही सोचता था कि सब पे गुंडागर्दी करके सबको जेब में रखा जा सकता है, मगर इन्होंने तो अपने प्यार से और अपनी विनम्रता से पूरी दुनिया पे शासन कर लिया।
हाँ, मैंने भी इनके बारे में सुना था last year. I think I even saw her in Sanskar channel. She was an amazing orator. Amazing.
Not good, but great orator, writer, wonderful person. She's all of them.
आप लोगों को पता है, हम भी इनके जैसे फेमस हो सकते हैं।
वो कैसे?
और लाखों करोड़ों कमा भी सकते हैं।
वो कैसे? बताओ तुम।
अरे काजल,
तुम क्या साइकियाट्रिस्ट बनने वाले हो?
अगर मैं साइकियाट्रिस्ट बन गई तो बहुत सारे साइकियाट्रिस्ट को घर पे बैठना पड़ेगा। मैं तो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग रेडियो टॉक शो की बात कर रही हूँ।
टॉक शो? लेकिन टॉक रेडियो शो तो रेडियो पर्सनालिटी होस्ट ही कर सकते हैं।
तो हम क्या किसी रेडियो पर्सनालिटी से कम है?
अरे वो सब तो ठीक है, लेकिन हम लोगों की प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करेंगे तो कैसे?
आप सब मुझे बुद्धू कहते हो। आप सब ने अपनी बुद्धि पे ताला लगा के रखा है क्या?
अरे जितनी ज्यादा मुंह मत चला।
अरे साफ साफ तो बता, तुम कहना क्या चाहती है?
अच्छा, मुझे लगता था सिर्फ पैर ही चलते हैं, लेकिन मुंह भी चलता है क्या?
अरे काजल, जरा साफ साफ तो बता, तू करना क्या चाहती है? तू क्या कहना चाहती है? हम लाखों करोड़ों रुपए कैसे कमा सकते हैं?
इट्स वेरी सिंपल। जैसे कि पहले कहा था आपने कि साध्वी प्रमुखा कनक प्रभा जी ने अपनी बुक के द्वारा आम इंसान को लाइफ के प्रॉब्लम को बहुत ही सटीक तरीके से सॉल्यूशन दिया है। बस हमें तो लोगों के प्रॉब्लम्स को जानना है, फिर बुक से उसके आंसर ढूंढ के उनको सॉल्यूशन देना है और बदले में तगड़ी फीस वसूल करनी है।
अरे आज तो इस ढक्कन ने AR रहमान की तरह एक बढ़िया सा आइडिया दे दिया है।
हाँ, आइडिया तो अच्छा लग रहा है।
पहली बार तो अक्कल वाली बात की है।
हमारी बात हमेशा 10 के दम की तरह दमदार होती है।
आइडिया तो बहुत अच्छा है, पर हमेशा हमारे आइडियाज फ्लॉप हो जाते हैं।
ये तो सही है।
इस बार हमें सोच समझकर कदम उठाना पड़ेगा।
अरे राधिका, जो सोचते हैं वो सोचते ही रह जाते हैं, और जो कूद पड़ते हैं वो आगे निकल जाते हैं।
चुप, इसकी है ना 100 बात में से सिर्फ एक ही बात सही होती है। अभी आगे हम सबको सोचना पड़ेगा कि इसके आइडिया को हम लोग सक्सेसफुल कैसे करें।
एक्सक्यूज मी, तुम सब लोग अंदर जाके बैठ के सोचो, मैं रिसर्च करके आती।
अब किस बात की रिसर्च?
यही कि लोगों की प्रॉब्लम का समाधान कैसे किया जाए, और उसके बारे में किसी को तो रिसर्च करनी पड़ेगी। तो क्यों ना इस महान कार्य को मैं ही अंजाम दे दूं।
स्टॉप। हमें सोचना पड़ेगा कि हम इसके द्वारा कैसे लोगों की हेल्प कर सकते हैं।
अरे मैंने सिर्फ नाम सोच लिया।
क्या?
ऑनलाइन शासन माता इनर पीस लाइफ कोचिंग सेंटर। ये
हाँ,
कैसे
ये
रहेगा?
अच्छा आइडिया है।
तुम लोग पार्टी की तैयारी करो, हम लोग ऑफिस में सेटअप करते हैं।
चलो। अरे ये तो डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया।
डिस्कनेक्ट नहीं हुआ, कुछ और प्रॉब्लम है, देखते हैं, फिर से फोन आना चाहिए।
नहीं तो हम ही कर लेते हैं ना, नंबर तो आ गया है।
हेलो, मैं ओरलैंडो से पुनीता बोल रही हूँ।
हाँ पुनीता जी, क्या प्रॉब्लम है आपकी? बिंदास होके बोलिए।
पता नहीं कैसे कहूँ, मैं घर छोड़कर जाना चाहती हूँ, क्योंकि रोज रोज की इस खिटपिट से मैं परेशान हूँ। मैं इतनी पढ़ी लिखी लड़की हूँ, अपना हित अहित किसमें है अच्छी तरह से जानती हूँ, फिर भी कुछ भी करूँ वो मेरी अनपढ़ सासू माँ रोज हर चीज में प्रॉब्लम निकालती है। वह मुझे ताने मारने का और मेरे बीच में टांग अड़ाने का एक भी मौका नहीं छोड़ती। ऊपर से मेरे पति भी बिल्कुल सपोर्ट नहीं करते। बस अब बहुत हो चुका, इन सब से छुटकारा पाना चाहती हूँ।
शानी, एक मिनट रुक। अगर तेरे पास सवाल है तो उसका जवाब भी होगा। जिंदगी की सबसे बड़ी सजा होती है कि अपनी प्रॉब्लम से दूर भागना। ओके, एक काम कर, सबसे पहले बोल जय शासन माता।
जय शासन माता।
अब सुन राधिका क्या कहती है।
पुनीता, मैं तुम्हें एक मंत्र देती हूँ। जब भी तेरी सासू माँ कुछ सुनाए या ताना मारे तो मन ही मन इस मंत्र को गुनगुनाना।
ठीक है।
ठसिकाई छोड़कर बनो विनम्र उदार। ठसिकाई छोड़कर बनो विनम्र उदार। मेल जोल सबसे रहे बहे प्रेम धार। बहे प्रेम धार।
क्या शानी, समझ में आया या नहीं? अपने नाच नचवे सब और अहंकार छोड़ दे। उसके पास डिग्री नहीं है मगर उनके पास काफी अनुभव है। जो भी वो कहे वो उसे सुनकर उसके सामने मस्त स्माइल दे दे और एक बार विनम्रता से उनकी बात समझने की कोशिश कर, फिर देख कैसी प्रेम की बात आती है।
ठीक है काजल भाई, कोशिश करूंगी। ट्रिप।
जय शासन माता की।
हेलो, मैं मोहन टेम्पा से बोल रहा हूँ।
हेलो, जय शासन माता की। मोहन जी, आपकी क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
प्रॉब्लम एक हो तो कहूँ, मुझे तो अब जीने की इच्छा ही नहीं है। जीवन में केवल असफलता ही असफलता। ऐसा लगता है कि जहर खाकर मर जाऊं।
अरे रे, तेरा दिमाग खराब हो गया है। तेरी डेड बॉडी देखकर तेरी माँ और बीवी क्या खुश होंगे? वो माँ जिसने तेरा गला साफ किया, वो बीवी जो तेरे लिए अपने माँ बाप को छोड़कर आ गई।
परेशान हूँ, करूँ तो क्या करूँ?
जय शासन माता की। पहले यह तो बताओ तुम कहाँ असफल हुए और क्यों?
मेरा एक सपना था विद्वान बनने का, इसलिए बहुत मनोयोग से पढ़ाई करता था। फिर एक संगीतज्ञ मिल गया, मुझे लगा मुझे भी संगीतज्ञ बनना है। मैंने इसके लिए भी साधना शुरू कर दी। फिर धनवान बनने की ख्वाहिश हुई तो व्यापार में समय लगाना शुरू कर दिया। व्यापार भी जमने वाला था, लगा सबसे बेस्ट करियर तो राजनीति में है। सब जगह ट्राई कर लिया, बट देयर इज नो सक्सेस।
जय शासन माता की। मोहन, एकत मुहे विधि सब एने, अन्य सब लक्ष्यों को गौण कर एक लक्ष्य पर केंद्रित हो जाओ, एकाग्र बन जाओ। सफलता तुम्हारे द्वार पर दस्तक देगी।
अभी सुना, पहले तो शासन माता की जय बोलकर तू ऐसे भटकना बंद कर दे। ये भी कुआ एक जगह खोदने से पानी मिलेगा, जगह जगह खड्डे खोदने से क्या मतलब? तेरा एक गोल सेट कर और पूरा ध्यान उसी पर दे, फिर देख कैसे तुझे सक्सेस नहीं मिलता है।
ठीक है काजल भाई, हैप्पी माइंड हैप्पी लाइफ। अच्छा हुआ काजल राधिका से बात कर ली, सारी प्रॉब्लम ही सॉल्व हो गई।
Tring tring.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Ishita from Surendranagar.
Hi Ishita, tell me, what is your problem?
Oh my God, where do I start? Being a girl, it's so hard. Very hard to adjust and compromise.
It depends on your situation. Not always, but आपकी ऐसी क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
Oh my God, मैं कहाँ से शुरू करूँ? जब भी कुछ भी कर दो, टोकना, रोकना. My mom does not let me do anything. She always controls everything I do. She controls my life.
गलत में टोकने का अधिकार उसी को है जो सही से शाबाशी देने आते हैं।
अरे बेचारी, एक बात बता, जब भी तुझे चोट लगती है तो कौन सा शब्द याद आता है?
मम्मी।
याद आया ना? आज उसी माँ के लिए इतना कुछ सुना रही है। जिसके लिए मना किया वो याद रह गया, जिसके लिए सपोर्ट नहीं किया वो तुझे, जिसके लिए सपोर्ट किया वो याद नहीं रहा। अभी तू बैठ के सोच, तूने अपनी माँ के लिए क्या किया, फिर पता चलेगा किसने किसको सहन किया।
Mummy, I will stay with you today.
जबरदस्त काम हो गया।
चलो फिर और भी काम करेंगे और भी अटेंड करेंगे। कुछ तो आया पैकेज ऑफिस के साथ। अपने लिए तो गिफ्ट आने लगे हैं। और देख देख, मोहन था, मोहन ने गिफ्ट भेजी। अच्छा, अरे ये देख, ये खत पढ़, कितनी खुश हो गई है, सबकी प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो गई।
जय शासन माता की।
जय शासन माता की। आई होप हमें भी अपने कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स के सॉल्यूशन इनके पास मिले होंगे, नहीं हो तो प्लीज़ कांटेक्ट कीजिए। So moving forward, I would like to request my dear friend Ushma Chitalia to join me, and she is my partner today in this progressing with this event, and she's been associated with JVB since many over 25 some years with tons of volunteer services in every field she could do. So, Mon Ushma.
Thank you, Hima. Hima is the current secretary of JVB, so thank you, Hima. It is my honor to introduce to you Lily Storm, a proud native of Guyana. Her life's work is to educate people about the injustice and sufferings women face daily all over the world. As a first-time author of A Never Forgotten Journey, an immigrant story, she hopes to inspire and empower others with her mother's journey. She's also the founder and CEO of the Lady Storm Foundation, which is dedicated to fighting hunger and serving our basic needs in neighborhoods and communities across the globe. Through the Lady Storm Foundation, Lily aims to promote love over hate, peace over violence, and educate communities to choose the right path, especially violence against women. Please join me in welcoming Lily Storm, an inspiring leader who continues to make a positive impact in our society.
Thank you so much. Can I take this? Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. Sitaram, everyone, or whatever you say. I just want to show respect to that. My name is Lily Storm, and I want to say first of all, Happy International Day 2023 to not just the women, but the men, because you know what? We're all at the end of the day trying to keep families together and keep family structures together, and it takes fathers also. So it's great that we're celebrating this day for women, but let's not forget the men. Like I said, I want to thank you for taking this opportunity to talk to you about I actually had a whole program, but I'm going to forego that because I think it's best if we just talk one-on-one. Everyone has a mentor. Everyone has a hero. Everyone has someone that they look up to in order to get through and navigate life. And that person was my mother, who sadly passed away in 2004. But not before she instilled in me what being worthwhile means, what being a woman means, what my worth was, what I need to understand about myself as a woman in a very diverse community, and how to stand up tall and to say that, you know what, I belong. I'm going to demand a place on that table, and I'm not going to demand because I'm a woman and feel entitled to say that, oh, I deserve this. I have to earn the respect of my peers and my colleagues. That's the only way we will progress in life. We have to understand the dynamics of life. Whether you're a man or whether you're a woman, I mean, aside from physical strength, I don't think there's anything a woman can do that a man can't do, or vice versa. So I like to clear the table and play the field equally. Going back to my mother, she was a woman in Guyana, a very small village, probably like a village in India. We had not even the basics of life. No running water, no electricity, no nothing. You just farm. If you don't farm, you starve. That's how we were brought up. But I didn't know that there was a difference. That was normal to me. not having dinner one day at the table was okay. Somebody was gonna, some neighbor or some family member was gonna come by and save us. And that was normal to me. It was when I came to this country and I understood the difference and I had something to compare to, then I realized this is absolutely crazy how some people live without the basic necessities in life. Now, the village that I came from wasn't as bad as some villages. Let me just put it that way. So when I talk about the basic necessities in life, I mean, if you don't have a place to live, that's unconscionable. Those are the things I'm talking about. So when my mother went through her struggles and suffered tremendously, because she was the one, because of my father's illness, she was the one that became head of household. And in that time, that was unheard of. There was a place for women. And again, that was normal. I'm not saying that was wrong or right. That was normal in that time. There was a place for women and there was a place for men. And we, the women and the men, understood their place. So when my mom stepped up, because my father stepped down to become head of household, she was not welcomed in the male-dominated society. So without going into details, she suffered a great deal. But my mother was never a victim. She was never a victim. She never thought of herself as a victim. She knew that she had to do something because she had 4 daughters to take care of, and that's what she did. That was her focus, that was her mission. So when I came to the United States, I left my family there, I understood that there was an order for me, and it was get my education, get a job, bring my family. And I had to do it in that order because that was instilled and ingrained in me. I didn't care that this was a different society. It was a society that I chose to come into. So I'm not going to say that this society is this or that. I accepted being here. I understood what this society means, but I never forgot my roots. My roots are what carried me through to this point in my life where I'm standing before you right now. So my mother taught me all these little things, and when I was a little girl, and she would tell me, do this, do that. I didn't think I was listening until I came to this country and I had to fend for myself. And those were the tools that came back to me to guide me to navigate this treacherous water that I experienced when I came to this country. So as I grew up, I got married, I had my kids, got my education, and I couldn't bring my parents because I was adopted to come to this country. So they told me, you can't bring your parents. Legally, they're not your parents. Biologically, they are. So that was some harrowing times I had to go through to get my parents here, to get my mother here. So when she came here, she taught me some more, and then she passed away in 2004. She was the center of my life. My entire existence ended when she passed away. But as I got myself together, I realized that this was a woman that I couldn't see myself through life without letting people know that she existed and what she offered the society, what she contributed to society. So I started writing notes, trying to preserve the memories of my mother so I don't forget her. And one time my daughter came to me and she says, Mom, you should put this in a book. So that's what I did. A Never Forgotten Journey, an immigrant story, came to life with those notes. And all it did was narrate and depicted the struggles my mom went through, but how she overcame those struggles. And that's what I want to say to women today. We are suffering. We are barred and restricted and abused and defeated, whatever. We've experienced all of that. But we have to overcome. We're individuals. We have to overcome. Somebody's not going to come up to you and say, hey, here's a great life, take it. It's your life, embrace it. But take it and do something with it. Even if you're a housewife, that's a beautiful job. To keep a family together, to to bring kids together, to raise the future generation is one of the most important things in life. So that's what I ask you to do today. And because of that, when I was a little girl, quickly, I know we're pressed for time, we had nothing, but my mom was always given. There was always, she didn't have money to give, but she was given time, advice, food, whatever she had. And I didn't realize how that impacted me also until I came here. And when I resigned from Orange County, I was working for the government. And then after I resigned and I retired, I said, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? And I started to look for my purpose. And every time I tried to do something really glamorous and extravagant, it never worked out, and it always come back to helping people. So then I established the Lady Strong Foundation, and I started out with hunger, because I know what it feels like to be hungry and not have. And I didn't want anyone to feel that way if I could have helped it. So I started with hunger, and now today we have 4 programs under the umbrella of the Lady Strong Foundation, and that is hunger. If you come to our foundation and you're hungry, we will feed you. No questions asked. We have community development. If you're in a community and your community is depressed and underserved, and you as a person is trying to do something good for your community, implementing programs to improve the quality of life, because you don't want to leave your community and run to another better community. We acknowledge you, either by stipend or continue to sustain the programs that you have. We also have a mental health program. Now, I'm not a mental health professional, but we partner with other mental health organizations to help young people in the underserved areas. I could stand here and say to you, what is mental health? When we were growing up, that was never the case. You know, we don't even know what it is. You just do what you're told and you get on with life. But today is a different world. We can't say, oh, just get on with it. Young people are experiencing what we didn't experience, and that is they have to perform better. They have to excel at everything. They have to be good at everything. We weren't under those pressure. So we can't say that's not something that they're going through. So we try to acknowledge that. My next program is, and it just fell in my lap, is the hunger program, because during the holidays, we were inundated with phone calls from especially single moms. I need some food, I need a place to stay. I didn't have the funding in my budget for that. So what I started doing was offering temporary housing. I would give them a voucher to go to a hotel for a couple nights until they could figure out a long-term solution for themselves. So those are the 4 programs that we have under the Lady Strong Foundation. Please go to my website, check it out, see what we're doing. We're starting a program in India, a school program in India. We've done something in South Africa. We're doing a whole lot in Guyana. We're trying to do the best that we can, because you know what? We're all sitting here, and probably after this program, we're gonna have some great food and conversation and a great time. But you step out of this door, and you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised to see the poverty and the lack of so many basic needs that people are experiencing out there. If you don't look for it, you don't see it. I see it every day. So I don't want to take much of your time. Thank you so much. I have some cards there that talks about women and empowerment. I hate to use that word because it's so overrated. To understand who you are as a woman, and to embrace yourself, to love yourself. It's very important for us to love ourselves. You know, no matter what you think you look like, no matter what society says about you, it's you have to live with yourself. So you have to understand you, love you, and take care of yourself. Because you can't take care of anybody else unless you're okay. We have a giveaway. It's the 2 airline ticket to anywhere in the United States. And all you have to do is go to my website, because I'm trying to get traffic there so people can see what I'm doing. You can make a donation, but you don't have to. You can just go to my website, fill out the form, and you're automatically entered. Thank you so very much. I appreciate all of you, and good night.
Thank you so very much, Lily. Lily, if you could stick around with us for a little bit longer, I would request you to come up to the front.
think she has to leave. But it just brings to mind how we take our basic needs for granted. Lily, if you have a few more minutes, you can just hang around with us for a little bit longer. We'd appreciate that. Thank you. I would now like to call upon Monica Nandu. Monica has been one of our co-founders, and along with her husband, Arvind Nandu, Parashaben and Rasik Bhai, Avniben and the late Kamlesh Bhai, they were instrumental in the attainment of this property. So Monica has also been a teacher, Grandshala teacher of the past.
Hello, hello all our respected guests and my JVB family. I'm standing here today to say a few words about somebody that we really love and respect. And we all know who Mr. Brahmagarwal is, my favorite Brahm uncle, who's done a lot to the society, who's been there for everybody, every community, every religion. He's been around to help us. But I believe that behind every successful man, there's an equally strong and successful woman. So I'm here to speak about Mrs. Krishna Agarwal, whom I very lovingly call Brahmanti. So, Brahmanti, a few words about you. As a very young lady, she moved from Delhi to Nairobi with her family while she was busy supporting her family, raising her children, raising her sister-in-law's children, her in-laws. She was there socially active with her husband, feeding, I think, hundreds and hundreds of people. Everybody that came to her house was really well fed, really well taken care of. She is an epitome to social service, to community service. So much so that when she recently met Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he remembered her. He said, "Oh, I've come to your house in Nairobi for dinner." That says a lot about that lady. And she has been the driving force to make sure that her Ekal Vidyalaya and the schools that are run in India are running successfully. She is the driving force to keeping her whole family successful, taken care of in all walks of life. And she does all this with a beautiful smile on her face, a wonderful attitude, a very positive attitude. I would have been complaining to my husband again and again if I had to feed hundreds and hundreds of people all the time. So Auntie, we love you very much. Mrs. Krishna Agarwal. Please. And if it's okay, Auntie, if you could please have a seat here. Aap whaan theek ho? Okay, chalo, theek. And now I'd like to invite the very talented daughter-in-law of Krishna Auntie, Mrs. Gauri Agarwal. And she is an equally active lady socially in the community, founder of the I forgot the name. Collaboration, where they serve all the homeless, hospitals, people in need. They sew, they stitch, they donate so many clothes and outfits and sweaters to the society. A wonderful human being, Mrs. Gauri Agarwal.
Namaste everybody. Actually, Collaborations is an organization where we strive to unite the community. Our motto is creating community through creativity. So through all creative endeavors, we started with a small sewing group. We expanded to knitters and crocheters, and now we have actually included people who are doing all different crafts in their homes and asking them to come and teach. Thereby creating that sense of community for women, and men are welcome too, we're not segregating. But mostly women come to these groups, and we have in the past done a lot of work where, actually yesterday we just had an event where we made 100 blankets for donation to an organization called Project Linus, and those blankets will be distributed to veterans female veterans and their babies. So like that, we have 3 charity projects a year, and then on top of that, the knitters and the crocheters, their group is called Wool Power. They do a lot of knitted goods and crocheted goods that again go into the community. But beyond that, we teach basic sewing, basic knitting, basic crocheting, and then creative personal projects. So it's kind of a all-inclusive, fun, yet giving back into the community. But with that said, today I was asked to sing a geet that was written by Sadhvi Pramukha Kanak Prabhaji. And in my understanding, Kanak Prabhaji means the effulgence of gold. So somebody who has such a powerful name can only be a powerful being. So she's left a golden legacy. And this geet that they had sent me, it was just, we talked only 2 days ago. So if I make any mistakes, please forgive me. It is in the tune to "Ae Mere Watan Ke Logo." But it is a song which addresses the issue of female infanticide. So it is a very powerful song, so bear with me. गांधी के पुण्य वतन में ये कैसा दृश्य निहारा, करुणारस सुख रहा क्यों अस्त हुआ ध्रुव तारा, बलिदान ये कन्याएं हैं, इनकी उजली गाथा इतिहास उठाकर पढ़ लो, इतिहास उठाकर पढ़ लो, गौरव से ऊंचा माथा, गौरव से ऊंचा माथा। गांधी के पुण्य वतन में देखो कैसी नादानी, कन्या भ्रूणों की हत्या इस युग की क्रूर कहानी। महावीर बुद्ध धरती पर देखो कैसी नादानी, कन्या भ्रूणों की हत्या इस युग की क्रूर कहानी। बेटी है लक्ष्मी दुर्गा सरस्वती सुभद्रा सीता, बेटी गार्गी मैत्रेयी गंगा गोमती पुनीता, क्यों मौन धार बैठी तुम, जागो खुद बनो भवानी। गांधी के पुण्य वतन में देखो कैसी नादानी। संस्कृति की मूल जड़ों से सादर जीवन रस खींचे, संस्कृति की मूल जड़ों से सादर जीवन रस खींचे। बेटी जब बाँह पसारे, बेटी जब बाँह पसारे, बनी निशानी, गांधी के पुण्य वतन में देखो कैसी नादानी। बेटा जब तक ही बेटा, जब तक ना बन जाता वर, बेटी सद्गुण की बेटी, बेटी रहती जीवन भर। ममता का गला घोट क्यों, ममता का गला घोट क्यों, बेटे पर माँ दीवानी, बेटे पर माँ दीवानी। क्या किया पाप बेटी ने, क्यों मान रहे बेचारी। जीवन के महासमर में बिन जन्मे क्यों ही मारी। घटती संख्या नारी की है आज चुनौती भारी। कैसे संकट गहराया है किस पर जिम्मेदारी। माता यदि सजग बने तो मिट जाएगी मनमानी। गांधी के पुण्य वतन में देखो कैसी नादानी। जय हिंद, जय हिंद की कन्या, जय हिंद, जय हिंद की कन्या, जय हिंद, जय हिंद, जय हिंद।
That was a beautiful amalgamation of a melodious voice and a wonderful composition. Thank you so very much. Okay, I would like to now invite someone who has practiced as an attorney for 18 years in the High Court at Ahmedabad. She now resides in Orlando, works as a freelance interpreter and a translator, and has been associated with JVB and Shamniji's for many, many years. It gives me great pleasure to invite Siddhiben Talati to say a few words.
Jai Jinendra everyone. It's my pleasure to be here, and I was invited to say some few words about myself. As Nishako said that when you studied here and then you went to New Zealand, you didn't get any work. Same thing happened with me. Because when I came here after practicing 18 years in India, in High Court of Gujarat, and I was about to be eliminated as a judge. And at that juncture, I decided to come over here on green card because I got the green card. And at that time, I had very crucial question for myself whether what should I do? Should I give away or sacrifice my career for my family and my children, or should I pursue my career further? I made a decision that whatever I want to do, I wanted to go and what my father-in-law, because my father-in-law was a judge, High Court judge, when I got married with my husband Deepak. And he wanted me to be a lawyer to continue his legacy. because after having 5 sons, no one was in his profession. So he was very much eager that somebody should go in his profession and do something. So at that time, after doing 18 years of practice, I was almost, when I came here, like around 40, 42 years of age. And I was about to be eliminated as a High Court judge. My name was sent and I got the interview for green card. I sat with my husband, took a decision, what should we do? And I said, well, what I wanted to do, I